Hello there you beautiful people, and welcome to part 2 of navigating the Linux file system. So in this video we're going to build upon what we learned in the last video about using the pwd and the ls commands, but in this video you're going to learn how to use the cd command to actually move around the file system. You're going to learn the difference between absolute and relative file paths. You're going to learn some awesome keyboard shortcuts that'll make navigating the file system so quick and so easy, and you're basically going to see how you can put together the pwd, the ls and the cd commands to elegantly navigate the file system. And by the end of this video, you're going to know everything that you need to know about navigating the Linux file system using the command line. And you watch, with a bit of practice, you'll soon agree with me that doing it this way is a lot faster and a lot more effective than using your pointy clicky graphical methods that you've been using probably all of your life so far. So let's go ahead and jump right into this next part of your superhero training. Okay, so in the last video we saw that we could use the pwd command to see where we were on the file system, and we saw that we could use the ls command with a variety of different options to basically look around and list what was in the directory that we're in. But using just these two commands, we're kind of stuck in the one place, right? How can we actually move from our home directory? Well, the missing piece is the cd command, and the cd command stands for change directory. So let's say that we used our ls command and we saw that the downloads folder, by noticing that it's in blue, it's a folder, we wanted to go into the downloads folder. How would we do that? Well, we could do it in a few ways. Firstly, we could give the cd command the absolute path for where we want to go. We could go, starting at the base directory, we'd go /, then home, then ziad, then downloads. Okay, and we could type that in like that, and that would totally work. Or, if we didn't want to have to write out the entire path to our home directory, we could just replace all that with the tilde. And we say, okay, go change to our home directory and then downloads. That's where you'd use the tilde. It's a nice little shortcut. Or, what we could use is something known as a relative path. Now, a relative path is a path relative to where you currently are. Okay, so because we're currently in the home folder, how do we get to the downloads folder? Well, let's think about it. If we open up the graphical menu, here we are, we're in the home folder. From here, what do we do to get to the downloads folder? We literally, all we have to do is just click downloads, right? So that, you can say that that's a relative path. We're just going from here to the downloads. That's all we've got to do. So to change to the downloads folder, all we've got to do is type downloads. So if we do that, if we just type cd, and then downloads, just like that, and press enter, you can see that we have changed directory and our shell prompt has changed as well. Before it was just the tilde telling us that we were in our home directory. Now it's saying we're in our home directory and the downloads folder inside that. Okay, so this is this text in blue here shows us the path to where we currently are. And if we use the pwd command now, we can see that we get /home /ziad/downloads, and we can also look around by pressing the ls command, and we can see that there's actually nothing inside that folder. Okay, so now that we're in our downloads folder, here's a challenge for you. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can use the cd command to change back to our home directory. So go ahead and pause the video and give it a shot, and then come back to see how you did. Did you manage it? If so, really, really well done. You learn super quickly. Now, you could have done it using an absolute path like this. You could type cd, then /home, /your username, whatever it would be. In my case, it's ziad, and that's it. Okay, that would work. Or you could have used a tilde to make it nice and easy. Just use cd and then a tilde. Now, I kind of cheated a little bit because there's another way that you could have done it, and this is the way you'll probably do it from now on, but I haven't shown you this before. Now, by default, if you don't give it any input, the cd command will take you to your home folder. So if we just type cd, like from scratch, just type cd and press enter, you can see by this, looking at the shell prompt, that we've ended up back in our home directory. We can use pwd to confirm that, and it tells us that we are back in our home directory. And that will work no matter where I was previously on the file system. I could have been anywhere on the file system, and all I've got to do is type cd and press enter, and I will end up back in the home directory. Pretty cool, right? Okay, great. So now that we're back in the home folder, I want to show you a very useful option for the ls command that's kind of like wearing X-ray glasses, and it's the A option. Now the A option is short for all, and it allows you to see all of the files in a directory, even the hidden files. So if I type ls and give it the A option, okay, now if I press enter, you'll notice that we see a whole lot of stuff in here printed out. Okay, if I clear the screen and type you just the ls option and then show you the ls with the A option, you'll see we get a lot more stuff with the A option. Now, a lot of these files, you'll notice, have file names beginning with dots. And that means that they're hidden files or even hidden directories. Okay, now if we look in the graphical editor, we may not be able to actually see them by default, but if we click up here like we did in the last few videos and show hidden files, we can now see them as well. So you can see that we're getting exactly the same output. So that's how you show hidden files using the ls command. Okay, and you may also notice in here that we've got our bash aliases file that we made a few videos ago. Now the reason that I mention this is because there's two very important hidden folders inside each folder. Okay, they are the dot and the double dot folders. Okay, now these are shortcuts that allow you to move around easier or refer to stuff on your file system a whole lot easier. Now the dot folder simply refers to the current directory. Okay, so for example, if I go to the desktop folder, okay, then we can print. My apologies. We can do print working directory, and we can see that we're in the desktop. And if I list its contents, there shouldn't really be anything on my desktop, but there always is this dot and double dot folders, which are only visible using the ls with the A option. If I just do normal ls, it doesn't show up. If I do ls-a, they show up. Okay. Now, in here, we've got the dot and the double dot folders. If I try to do cd to the dot folder, bash is basically going to stay where it is. The shell is going to stay exactly where it is. So if I do that, you can see that we're still in the desktop by looking at the shell prompt, because the dot folder refers to the current folder that we're in. Okay, it's just a way of saying this folder. Okay, now what if I went to the double dot? What if I do cd double dot? Okay, you notice that we did actually change, and we're in fact back in our home folder. The double dot folder means the parent folder, or the folder above where we currently are. Okay, so if I go back to the desktop, you can see that we've got the double dot folder. If I press cd double dot, we've gone back up a folder, which brings us into the home directory. Okay, so we're back in our home directory. Let's clear the screen. What if I kept going? Okay, if I go cd dot dot, I'm now in the actual home folder, which is not my home folder, but it's the folder above my home folder. Okay, let's keep going, cd dot dot, and now we're actually just in the slash folder. We're in the base directory for the whole system. Okay, see if we can go any higher. If we go cd dot dot, you can see that we can't go any higher because the slash folder is the highest point on the file system. Okay, we can actually have a look around. If I do an ls, what's in our base directory? We can see there's quite a lot of files here that you saw when we had a little bit of an explanation of the file system. You've got the bin folder, the boot folder, the dev folder, the etc folder, which is full of your configuration files, the home folder, which is where we just were to get our home stuff, the libraries, media, which is where you have your removable hard drives, your optional stuff, the root users home folder, and so on and so on, the variable files, temp files, user stuff, and so on and so on. Okay, so these are the folders. The most important of these anyway are the ones that I gave you in that cheat sheet where we talked about the file system. Okay, and now let's see what happens now. This is the root users home folder, right? This is the home folder for the administrator. Let's try and see what happens if we try to enter it. If we do cd root, okay, and press enter, you can see that we get permission denied. Okay, so there's some folders that you're allowed into and some folders that you're not allowed into. So we don't have enough privileges to be able to access the root user's home directory. Aww. Well, what about the etc folder? Okay, the one with the configuration files. Let's try that. If we try cd etc, aha, we can get into that one. Let's see what's in there. If we press ls, ooh, you can see there's a whole bunch of stuff in there, right? And there's some folders in here. There's the blue ones are folders and the white ones are files, and some of them have different types as well, but you know, don't have to worry about that. Mostly what you'll see are blue and white. Blue ones folders, white one files, and you can enter anything that you want in there. For example, there's one here, where are we looking? There's one here called DHCP. We could go into that folder. We could try cd DHCP. Okay, now what's in there? We could do ls and we could have a look around. We can see there's other stuff in there. There's another one there, dh client enter hooks.d. Let's try to go there. dh client enter hooks.d. You can see that we're in there. What's in there? So ls, we can see there's other stuff in there. The green ones here are programs. But you can see here, right, the way that we are moving around the file system using either cd to move, ls to see what's around us, or pwd to confirm exactly where we are. And it's this way that you will actually move around the entire system, and it doesn't change no matter where you are. As long as you've got the permissions to enter those folders, you can get there using just the cd command, and you can look around using the ls command, and you can confirm where you are using the pwd command. Now, how do we get all the way back to our home folder? Very easy. Just press cd, press enter, and we are back in our home folder. So you can see that pretty much anything that you need to do in the Linux file system, anywhere in the Linux file system that you want to move to, as long as you have the required permissions, all you need are the cd, ls, and pwd commands, and you can get wherever you want. And if you get lost, just use the pwd command to check where you are. Pretty epic, right? So now that we're back in our home folder, there's one final thing that I want to teach you, and that's called tab completion. But for that goodness, as well as a summary of everything we've learned in the past few videos, I'll see you in the next video.